Dirty dealings, corporate battles, consumer woes. This is Evening 5. Gamuda said its 75% owned joint venture company has been appointed as the total development contractor for 3.05 billion ringgit to build a hydroelectric plant in Sabah. The contract, awarded by Ulu Padas Power or UPP, involves the design and construction of the 187.5 megawatt Ulu Padas Dam in Tenom. Gamuda holds an indirect interest of 45% in UPP through UPP Holdings, and this is a non-related party transaction. Gamuda said detailed terms and conditions of the contract are currently being negotiated with UPP. The group said work is expected to begin immediately, with a scheduled commercial operation date to be on or before December 31st, 2030. Upon completion, the project is expected to deliver an average of 1,052 gigawatt-hours of clean energy per annum, increasing Sabah's current dependable capacity by 15% and doubling the renewable energy mix. The contract is anticipated to contribute positively to the group's revenue and earnings for the financial year ending July 31st, 2025, until the completion of the job. This is the second contract Gamuda has announced this week. On Tuesday, Gamuda said the group and its JV partners, MeTech Information Technology Corp and Dongpi Co, were awarded a 4.3 billion ringgit contract for the Shizidonghu Mass Rapid Transit in Taiwan. Last month, Gamuda secured a 702 million ringgit contract to deliver the Boulder Creek Wind Farm in Queensland, Australia. As at end July this year, the group's construction order book stood at 25 billion ringgit. Government spokesperson Fahmi reportedly said the proposal to introduce laws allowing house arrest for some offences seeks to reduce recidivism rates and prison overcrowding and is not aimed at getting former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib out of jail. According to a Reuters report, Fahmi was responding to media questions about speculation the law could allow house arrest for Najib, who was imprisoned for corruption linked to the multi-billion ringgit 1MDB scandal, and help other politicians accused of graft to dodge jail. He said this has nothing to do with any individual. We need to adapt to the times, as we see many other countries embracing restorative justice, and we too are headed that way. Fahmi explained that the proposed law, included as part of the government's budget plans for 2025, was in line with other recent criminal justice reforms, such as the abolition of mandatory death sentences and a moratorium on executions. He said a government project started last year found that reoffending rates were greatly reduced when inmates charged with minor crimes were allowed to serve time at home. Malaysian prisons, which have a national capacity of 74,000, suffer from overcrowding with 87,000 inmates. Malaysia is on track for faster economic growth, a narrower fiscal gap and steady prices, setting the stage for sustained currency strength and increased investment. Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan told Bloomberg in an interview in Washington the ringgit will find the natural level commensurate to the growth prospect of the country and be aided by a decline in interest rate differentials with the US. He said Malaysia will look more attractive and the ringgit should strengthen along the way. The Malaysian currency is the best performer in emerging markets this year, even after paring gains following its best quarter in 50 years. The report noted that investors have been lured by economic growth that has surpassed estimates and the prospect that the key interest rate will stay on hold longer than many of its neighbours. Just because everybody has cut, it doesn't mean we have to cut, Amir Hamzah said, describing current settings as still very accommodative. He commended Bank Negara's handling of inflation and said the economy doesn't need any stimulus at this point. Retirement Fund Inc. KWAP has completed its investment of 219 million ringgit for a minority stake in Asia's pioneer in global offshore wind vessel operations, Cyan Renewables, aligning with the fund's commitment to achieve 20 billion ringgit in transition assets by 2030. KWAP Chief Investment Officer Hasman Hilmi Salahuddin said Cyan supports the transition from legacy systems to clean energy by providing essential high-value services that raise the ceiling and by developing skilled professionals locally, which raises the floor. He said the initiative is also part of KWAP's commitment under the Finance Ministry-led Gear Up program. KWAP is a co-investor in this deal, which is spearheaded by mid-market infrastructure investor Seraya Partners. Looking ahead, KWAP said Cyan plans to invest up to 1 billion ringgit together with the fund in various endeavours, such as establishing its Southeast Asia headquarters in Malaysia and the development of fleet management and chartering teams based in Kuala Lumpur and Miri. Additionally, Cyan plans to hire seafaring professionals locally to support its operations and collaborate with Malaysian organisations to sponsor cadets over the next 10 years, as well as explore utilising local shipyards for vessel repairs and new builds. Padini Holdings announced plans to refurbish 9 stores, open 4 new outlets and close 1 location in Malaysia in the current financial year ending June 30th, 2025 as part of efforts to streamline its retail operations. In its latest annual report, the fashion retailer said it will also close 1 of its 7 stores in Thailand. The group operates its largest market in Malaysia with over 140 stores nationwide, where inflation concerns persist amid plans to cut subsidies for RON95 petrol from the middle of next year. Still, Padini said it remains optimistic about the business's long-term sustainability and is working to rationalise its retail operations by optimising working capital, implementing cost control measures and exploring additional sales channels. Meanwhile, to enhance automation in its warehouse operations and address challenges related to labour shortages and inventory losses, Padini said it has invested over 10 million ringgit in an RFID system for inventory tracking and management, which is expected to go live in FY 2025. It also plans to establish logistics hubs in East Malaysia as well as the southern and northern regions.